Morning. I'm Nick. I'm the Associate Director for the Centre for Enhanced Learning and Teaching. As a teaching assistant, you're probably going to face quite a few challenges during your time. Typically, those challenges might be where students will complain to you that what you're covering in the tutorial is not exactly the same as is covered in the exam, or they may have some complaints about sort of language-related problems to teaching. And you're going to watch some clips about these this morning. But before you do, it would be really good, I think, if you actually got together with a group of other TAs to watch these, so you could actually watch them and then discuss some of them together. First, you're going to see a few TAs discussing three particular cases where the students were actually complaining about the content of the tutorial not being covered in the exam.
Simon, I've been frustrated since the last tutorial.
It is so pity. Why are you so frustrated?
One of my students complained to me, saying that what I taught was not included in the examination. Here is your paper.
Thank you. Oh, my grade is not very good. You spent 2 tutorial sections talking about the usage of linked lists, but it's not covered in the examination. I spent a whole night without sleeping to study it.
Oh, I'm sorry about your grade. Linked list is a basic concept in data structure. It helps you to understand the materials covered in the class data and many other courses in the future as well.
But I just want to get a better grade.
I think you are not coming to tutorial just for exams, right?
In this case, what you taught is within the syllabus, but not covered in the examination. Actually, you don't need to worry too much. You are right to indicate to the students that the purposes of the tutorial are not just for the examinations. Basically, the tutorial is a supplement to the lecture to help students understand the topics covered in the syllabus.
By the way, the TA himself doesn't know the questions of the examination when he teaches. Actually, I was complained by of some of my students too. Good morning, everyone. Let's start the tutorial. Today, I will explain more on proving an argument by natural deduction. For example, how will you prove this argument? Valid or not? We can prove it in this way. Step 1. Write down the assumption. This is how we prove the argument. Do you have any questions?
Excuse me, TA.
Yes?
I don't understand what you have said. Is it covered in the syllabus? The instructor just told us how to use the truth table to check an argument valid or not.
Oh, sorry. I think it's not covered in the syllabus, but...
In this case, Leo, you are right to apologize to the students. But more important is to improve the communication with the students and the lecturer to avoid similar situations.
I see. I have another case to share with you. The professor has taught you how to use the rules in practical logic to solve logical problems. I will show you an example now. This is the question. Do you think this is valid or not? You can prove it in this way. You can see when we apply the rules UE, EE, conjunction, and RAA, the problem can be solved. Yes?
TA, we don't know what you are doing since we don't know the rule UE and EER. Yes.
Though you may be an expert of what you teach, you should consider the backgrounds of students. they may not be able to understand the content you teach.
Okay, thanks for your comments and suggestions.
Conclusion. Tutorial's purpose is not just for examinations. Tutorial is a supplement to the lecture. Avoid covering content that is out of syllabus. Consider the background of the students and avoid topics too advanced for them. More questions. What can you do to reduce the chances of coming to situations like the 3 cases we've seen? If you were the TAs in the 3 cases, what would you do to deal with the complaints?
Next, we're going to look at some language-related issues or problems. Here we have 3 teaching assistants who all have different first language backgrounds. So let's see how they handle their first day tutorials.
Hello everybody, let's start today's tutorial. My name is Wendy and I'm the TA of this course COM 104, and this is my email address cpwendy. If you have any problems, you are welcome to contact me. So any questions before we start?
Wendy, can you speak in Cantonese? All of us are from Hong Kong.
I'm sorry that I need to speak in English because the university policy requires us to teach in English. I can talk to you in Cantonese in private after class.
If you are the TA, will you speak in Cantonese? The university requires TAs to conduct their tutorials in English. To what extent do you think we need to stick to this policy?
Excuse me, TA, we've got a few questions.
Okay.
Now, what is 句也思 and what is 句和?
Oh, you don't know that? 句也思 is polyethylene, and 句和 means polymerization.
Actually, can you do all the tutorials in English? Because we don't know Putonghua very well.
Yes, especially for those specific terms. We really don't know what you are talking about if you speak in Putonghua.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What will you do if you are the TA? How can you avoid this from happening?
Okay, that's the end of today's first tutorial. Do you have any questions so far? No? Okay, then see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.
Hey, what do you think about our new TA from Germany? He is quite funny, isn't he?
Yep. It's difficult to follow his tutorials. His European accent is quite hard to understand.
Yes, I agree. And also, he speaks so fast.
So maybe we can go to his office together and ask him directly.
Okay?
Okay.
If you conduct the tutorial in English, but the students complain about your accent, what will you do? How can you make the tutorial easier to follow?
Okay, so now you've seen the first day tutorials for the 3 TAs. What did you think about them? What did you think about the challenges that they faced and the way that they handled them? But before you start answering anything, maybe we can go ahead and see them actually discussing how they think it went.
Hey guys, how were your first tutorials?
Quite good for the first time. Actually, I was a bit nervous, especially for my English. I couldn't remember some English terms like polyethylene and polymerization at that moment. And I just spoke in Putonghua. And, after the class, even some students came and complained about that.
Yeah, you can't do that. We have to use English as the teaching medium. Perhaps you can use some PowerPoint and transparencies for your presentation. I think you may just need more preparation and practice before the tutorial.
Okay.
If you have any difficulties, you can also go to the language center to get some help. How about you?
Quite nice. The students are very funny and it seems they like the tutorial. Sometimes I was not quite sure whether they really could follow my teaching and could get my point.
Maybe you can ask some questions during the tutorial to check the understanding. I think this can also improve the communication between you and the students.
How to handle or avoid students' complaints relating to language. Tutorials should be conducted in English. Practice before the tutorials. Use transparencies and PowerPoint presentations for teaching and give handouts to the students. Try to get some feedback from the students during tutorials. Ask questions to check their level of understanding. Encourage students to answer. Consider the use of PRS. Talking more helps both students and TAs to adapt to the differences in the level of language and accents. Thus, it improves their way of communication. If TAs have difficulties, they can try to approach the Language Center for help.
We hope these discussions will really help you handle such challenging situations in the future. But don't forget, if you've got any questions right now or you have questions in the future, contact your fellow TAs, contact the TAC in your department or the PGCE and also the Centre for Enhanced Learning and Teaching. Goodbye, have a great time as a TA and help your students to learn well.